Hi, I'm Stephen Yunty here doing the junkyard crawl in the wilds of Vermont with a 1956 Buick Roadmaster four-door hardtop. Now, 56 was an interesting year for Buick because all of the cars from the Special to the Century to the Super to this Roadmaster had the year on the grille emblem. It says 1956 Roadmaster, so there's no doubt about it. It's a 56. It's good news in 55, bad news in 57 because you either a future car or last year's car. That's on all of these things. They say Special, Century, or Super, or Roadmaster. So it's basically specific to the car. But again, 1956, the model year. It's the only time I can think of that the outside of the car has an emblem displaying what year it is. Kind of weird. So, of course, the Roadmaster, also being the top of the line Buick, had a functional sort of cold air system. This vent right here does work on cheaper cars like the Special. This is blocked off. Same ornament, but it's blocked off solid aluminum. This does function. It's a stainless steel piece is what it is, not aluminum, stainless steel. But let's open the hood and see what we find. And we're going to find just one engine. It's going to be the 322 cubic inch nail head V8. This one has the 4-barrel, which was standard fare. And this would have had 255 horsepower with the dual exhaust, standard on Roadmaster. And something we see on this is kind of cool. Factory AC. And interesting here, it says in yellow, OK final test right there on the side of that thing. So apparently the Frigidaire division of GM must have done a thing to show that it was not going to leak gases. And an odd thing on this too is, well, of course, power steering, by the way, not that odd. I think that was standard on the Roadmaster. There it is right there. Because these cars probably weighed about, I don't know, 3 tons, something like that. At least 2.5 tons, probably 3 tons, really fully loaded like this one is. But a weird thing on this thing, you can see right there, the vacuum windshield wipers. Buick went to electric wipers in 58, but on something as expensive and exclusive as a Roadmaster, the vacuum wipers are a stinker because when you really need them to work on a rainy intersection in the fog, when you punch the gas to get out of the intersection, the wipers slow down. So go figure. 1958, they finally went to standard electric wipers, but here we see them on this top of the line Roadmaster vacuum wipers. That's something you see on like a Rambler or something like that, but not the case. There it is right there on this thing. And beautiful grille. The bumpers on this thing are massive. This is long before the 5-mile-an-hour impact bumpers of 1973 and beyond. These are monster chrome beasts, and it's still in pretty decent condition. You could probably strip the chrome and replate it, and bring it back to life, or use it as it is on a rat rod, chop it up, slice it, section it, have fun with it. And the grill on this is it's metal, it's a die casting, but the chrome plating is pitting and starting to die. Likewise, you could trim that and make it into a custom piece on a car, rat rod kind of a thing. There's a lot of parts on this thing that could be saved. I love the gun sight fender ornaments right here on both sides. And Ford and most car makers use those things. They're sort of a remnant of people flying fighter planes in World War II. Probably wouldn't want to be reminded of gun sights, but there they are, sort of a interesting touch on these things. A nod to the future, people enjoying faster vehicles. And let's go around here. Of course, the Venta ports, first seen in 1949 Buicks. And on the top cars, there are 4 of them. There's 3 on the Special, the cheaper car, only 3 Venta ports. These had 4 of them, the top line cars. And here we have the wraparound windshield, kind of cool. And again, the beauty of the Roadmaster, this hardtop here, is the fact that it's no door pillars and no B-pillar. So with the windows down, you have open air motoring, and it's, a nice experience to drive this thing on a sunny day. Although once these seals start to wear out and shrink, you get a lot of wind noise, a lot of drains. So it's kind of a double-edged sword to have a hardtop body style, whether it's a Dodge Dart or whatever it might be. But again, we see it here on this one, an exclusive car, the Roadmaster, kind of the top of the line. And again, don't forget it's a Roadmaster. There's emblems all over the thing to tell you. It says Buick's Dynaflow automatic transmission. No manual transmissions offered in Roadmasters. The cheaper cars, yes, 3-speed manual on the column if you wanted to pinch some pennies. Can't get the doors open on this, but it's kind of a pretty interior, 2-tone steering wheel. And the interior is done in sort of a 2-tone cloth and vinyl. Really attractive. Again, I can't get the doors open. The windows are probably power windows on this thing. Kind of cool. Tinted windows. Of course, AC cars generally had tinted windows to keep things cooler inside, to give the AC unit a fighting chance. At the tail of the car, the Roadmasters have these really cool chrome they look like they're luggage rack, protectors, but they're basically ornamental. And 2 little chrome handles right here to lift the trunk up, and massive rear bumper on this. Dual exhaust would have come through the bumper down here. It's kind of too low to show, but again, dual exhaust standard on the Roadmasters. And the Roadmaster was spelled out here, Roadmaster, once upon a time. Now we have RD, Research and Development. There it is. Let's pop it open and see what we find. And there it is. Now these transmissions, these are manual transmissions from another application, certainly not from this car. This is kind of weird. This is the silenced air cleaner. It's trapped under a transmission. Yeah. Anyway, that thing right there is a silencer, and it's upside down. But that thing is an oil bath air cleaner. It's flipped over, but that's a silencer right there to quell induction roar on wide open throttle and at idle to calm it down a little bit. So that's the story of Buick's top line model in 1956, the Roadmaster, a massive car. 127-inch wheelbase, about 2 inches longer than cheaper Buicks of this period in time. Another thing, too, I want to point out, Buick had some very unusual things. The wheels on Buicks are, they're stamped steel. They're not shared with any other, GM car, Chevy, Pontiac, Olds, nothing. They sort of have a weird sort of an incuse, like a sort of a reverse taper to them, and also bolts. Yes, left-hand bolts on the passenger side, righties on this one here. On the driver's side, but kind of a weird rim. You can always tell a Buick wheel if you see a pile of them because it sort of has a weird incuse look to it, and no nubs to hold a hubcap because it had hubcaps that clipped on to the outside or these things right here, the wheel covers or the hubcaps as the case may be. But, great example of a massive, road tank, 1956 Buick Roadmaster. And if you want to buy any parts or pieces from this car, Paul Crozier can be reached at email or by emailing him at paulcroziervt@gmail.com. So that's the story of this large and in charge Buick. Come back tomorrow for more Junkyard Crawl, and thank you for watching.